Yo, yo, yo. What's goody, y'all? What's goody, y'all? Let me make sure I'm not too close to the camera as usual. A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. Eagles are Super Bowl champions. I look crispy in this. Shout out to Logi. Shout out to Logi for the camera as always. Hop on in the chat. Hop on the chat. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe. You Go Boy Media. You know the vibes. I'm getting a text from Brian McFadden as we speak. Shout out to All Things Covered. Yeah, the Eagles are Super Bowl champions. They knock off the Chiefs. That was a beating. That was a beatdown. That was as we say back in the day, they beat them like they stole something. Woo wee. The Eagles put it on the Chiefs last night. 40-22, I believe. That game was over from the rip, man. I mean, it really looked like the Super Bowl a couple years ago in Tampa, Bucks against the Chiefs. The Chiefs O line, no answers, no answers. The Eagles did not blitz. I don't think the Eagles blitzed all night. Eagles didn't blitz all night, and just pressure on Patty Mahomes, man. And Eagles had the better roster on paper. The reason why I was kind of leaning more toward Kansas City coming in was, I just, can't bet against Mahomes. Mahomes and Andy Reid, I figured it was going to be a tight nip and tuck game. I didn't know that the Eagles were going to be as dominant as they were. This was dominance. They let it be known that we're going to dominate up front. We're going to dominate with the pass rush. We're going to get pressure on Patty Mahomes. We're going to get explosive plays in the offense as well, especially through the air. Listen, we're going to do a slow clap as we do on the pod all the time for Howie Roseman. The roster construction for the Eagles that was the story. That was absolutely the story, man. They built themselves a championship caliber roster, man, and they built through the trenches. Both lines of scrimmage, those Georgia boys, Davis and Carter and Smith. N'Kobe Dean didn't even play. He's one of their best tackling linebackers as well, starter. Kylie Ringo, they got him on special teams. He's not even a starter. They just basically took the Georgia national championship team from a couple of years ago and was just like, yeah, let's ride. And those boys came into their own. They absolutely did, man. We talk about the Fantastic Four: team building, roster building, competent quarterback, competent front office. And Eagles checked all four of those boxes, and that's why this is their second Super Bowl in the last 3 years, I believe, and why they got over the hump. Saquon Barkley, signing him in free agency, the Giants, this will go down as one of the worst moves in forget NFL history, in sports history. This is right up there with letting Babe Ruth go to the Yankees. This is right up there with the Blazers not drafting Michael Jordan, the Blazers not drafting Kevin Durant. They picked Greg Oden over Durant. I think the Blazers picked Bill Duckworth over Jordan. Like, we're talking like historically bad moves. And the Giants, they made their bed, and they're going to lie in it. They're still in their rebuild. They might get their quarterback this year. Then again, they haven't drafted a black quarterback in over 100 years, but that's neither here nor there. But what I will say, allowing Saquon Barkley, who is still a top 3 running back in this league, with still a lot of years, a lot of tread left in the tires, to put him behind the best offensive line in football, I mean, it just unlocked another dimension of the Eagles offense, and Jalen Hurts as well. And Kellen Moore, who by all intents and purposes is going to be the next head coach of the Saints, it just made his job so much easier. I mean, it's really easy to call plays when you know that teams are selling out to stop Saquon. And it's really easy to call plays when the roster construction is top tier. And you got A.J. Brown, All-Pro, Devontae Smith, Heisman Trophy winner, Dallas Goedert, Pro Bowler. Howie Roseman, hats off, man. Hats off to Howie Roseman, man. They're doing They're doing God's work over there in Philly, and they're world champions now. And you know, they are built. They're built to have a run now. You know, this very well could be the start of the Eagles era, depending on what happens in the NFC, depending on what happens with other teams. You know, it's hard to build dynasties. You know, I feel like people were a little spoiled by what was going on with the Chiefs. You know, but I think that the as long as you have the Fantastic Four, as long as you have a competent front office, man, you can be in the mix for as long as you want to be in the mix. And Howie Roseman's going to continue to put the pressure and go for it every year. They're going to continue to go for it. They're going to continue to push the chips in. They're going to continue to make trades and sign impact free agents. They're going to continue to go for it. And, you know, hats off. This was a dominant performance in all three phases. The Eagles are your Super Bowl champions, and they deserve it. They rightfully deserve it. I'm going to shout out some love to Saquon Barkley, Penn State legend. I'm going to shout out to A.J. Brown, one of my favorite wide receivers. I'm going to shout out some love from Jahan Dotson, Penn State, another Penn State legend. I'm going to shout out some love to Penn State guys, as well as some of my favorite players, you know, for getting rings, man, you know, because, you know, I'm a Cowboy fan. We're going to get to America's team. Don't worry. But, you know, give credit where credit is due, man. The Philadelphia Eagles, they are kings of the mountain. They're your world champions now. Let's keep it moving. I think, you know, you have to now shift focus because now it's the offseason. All right. Everybody's at ground zero now. I mean, everybody's looking up to Philly. They're the kings of the mountain right now. And you know, of course, you start with the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs are still going to be in the mix to win the AFC as long as Patty Mahomes is healthy. Don't be shocked if you're going to see the Chiefs have a very similar offseason to what they had when they lost to the Bucs in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago in 2020, I believe. Trust and believe. They're going to attack offensive line like their lives depend on it. Don't be shocked if Kansas City drafts 2 guys, trades for another 2 guys, and signs another 2 guys in free agency. They're going to try to build a great wall of Kansas City to because they know that trench warfare, if you don't win in the trenches, if you can't control the line of scrimmage, you can't win championships in this league. And that's the beauty of football. That's the beauty and purity of football. To win a championship, you have to control the line of scrimmage. You just do. You know, offensive line, defensive line. And right now, the way that the Chiefs are constructed, their offensive line, they were just getting by. And they've got to revamp that. They do. And in terms of weapons, you know, they're still going to make under the radar moves like Hopkins and Juju Smith-Schuster and Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown. They're still going to bring in talent to surround. And, you know, Kelsey, I think he's got another year or 2. I don't think he's going to retire on this sour of a note. But don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if the Chiefs are right back. Same bat time, same bat channel, because it's still them and everybody else in the AFC. I mean, it's still Kansas City, Buffalo, and Baltimore as the big 3. You know, Houston's trying to sneak in there. Cincinnati's trying to sneak in there. We'll see what happens with the Jags and the Dolphins and what the Jets got going on if they find a quarterback. But the big 3 is still locked and loaded in the AFC with the Chiefs, with Baltimore, and with Buffalo. All right. One of those 3 teams is going to win the AFC yet again, and they'll be in, I believe, Santa Clara, San Francisco, which is where the Super Bowl, Levi Stadium, is where Super Bowl 60 will be next year. Meanwhile, you go over to the NFC. It's Philly's world, and we're all living in it right now. You know what I mean? Detroit, they're still going to be knocking, but we're going to see how they're going to look with now 2 brand new coordinators. Ben Johnson's gone. He took the Chicago job. And Aaron Glenn, he took the New York Jet job. How are they going to look like with 2 brand new coordinators? You know what I mean? They're pretty much going to run back the same core, but, man, injuries ravaged them, and the recklessness at the coaching spot did them in for sure. We're going to see how Detroit now, how they carry themselves and conduct themselves as an elite team in the conference right now. But you know, absolutely, the Rams are going to be in the conversation. I fully expect for the San Francisco Avengers to avenge and get back to the playoffs and be a contender. I, the Packers are going to be in it. Depending on what the Minnesota Vikings do, they're going to be in the conversation as well at quarterback if they're going to bring back Darnold or if JJ McCarthy, if it's his time now. The Bears, obviously with Ben Johnson, we'll see what's going on with Caleb and his maturation now in the Ben Johnson era, which brings me to America's team, which brings me to my team, the Dallas Cowboys. What the hell are they going to do? Because Dallas is the third best team in the NFC East right now. They're the third best team in their division. I noticed I didn't mention them for a reason when talking about the NFC conference elite. They're looking up right now, and I don't know what to make of them until this offseason plays out, because if the plan is to run back what they ran back to end to 2024, like they're going to be they're going to be on the outside looking in come January this time next year, because right now, yes, they were ravaged by injury. They were missing guys left and right. They lost CeeDee Lamb. They lost Dak Prescott. They lost Micah Parsons. They lost Trayvon Diggs. They lost DeMarcus Lawrence. They lost Zach Martin. They lost Deron Bland. Like Jake Ferguson missed time. Like they missed everyone you can imagine missed time last season. Like the injury gods were just like the football gods were just like, yeah, you guys 12-5, 3 straight years. Yeah, that's not happening. You guys are good. It's just not happening. So can Dallas get some good health? But this is a humongous offseason. And as I mentioned in the last live, I like the moves thus far, bringing in Adams and Eberflus. We'll see about the Schottenheimer move at head coach. I'm not making any judgment on him until probably year 2. Is Dallas in a rebuild? Rebuild or a reload? This offseason is going to tell that story, because last season was a soft rebuild. I mentioned on the show several times. Shout out to COWBOYS podcast. New episodes on the way. Me and Mongo, we're definitely going to recap the NFL season when I get back from the Dominican Republic. Can't wait. Head there for my birthday. But man, I'm very, very, very interested to see what happens in the offseason now, because free agency is going to tell the story. Free agency is going to tell the story. And again, as I've mentioned before, I'll mention again, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys can free up just with their contract triggers alone, almost $70 million in cap room. So it's not a situation where's Dallas going to get all this money from? Are they going to be spenders in free agency? Are they going to aggressively attack free agency and trades? Because they can't go all draft. Dallas has about 30 unrestricted free agents in free agency. They're going to lose a bunch of free agents just like every team does. It's not just them. Just like every team does. And it's like, their model in the past has been, let's just re-sign as many of our guys as possible, bargain basement bullshit in free agency, and draft. And that formula has not worked in going on now 3 decades. The good teams, the best teams, your reigning undisputed world heavyweight champion of the world, Philadelphia Eagles, they've shown you can use the draft. The draft is important. Draft. Yes, no one's ever saying, I'm not saying F them picks. I'll never say F them picks because I love the draft. I love draft and develop. It is a necessity to find cheap labor and to build around that. What I'm saying is you can't just stop there. It can't be draft and develop 99.9% of your roster. That's not, because if you have a bad draft, if you have a lackluster draft, you're going to suffer. All right. And granted, if you have your full complement of picks, say 7 picks, a good draft is if you hit on like 2 of them or 3 of them. 3 of them. You hit on 3 out of the 7 picks, successful draft. That's an A- to B+ draft. That's what you want. 3 of my, I get a starter, a borderline starter rotational guy and a rotational guy. That's a good draft. But to think that I drafted, I'm going to the Super Bowl, that's delusional. That's the delusion that Cowboy fans have had with our front office, with Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones for years now. And again, the Eagles have shown you. The Eagles have literally laid out the blueprint in your division how to get this done. Is Jalen Hurts a top 5 quarterback? No. Is Jalen Hurts a top 10 quarterback in the NFC? Yeah. But in the league, no. What he is perfect for this system, perfect for this team, perfect for what the culture and what the Eagles need him to be. We just need you to be the facilitator. Very similar to Dak. We just need you to run the offense. Don't turn the ball over. Don't lose us the game. And occasionally, we need you to win the game. Occasionally, we need you to win the game. This nonsense and this foolishness of we need you to be Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes every single week. Our hopes and prayers rely on you for us to even have a chance to win. No one wants that business model except the Chiefs. The Chiefs have turned a dynasty out of that. But again, to win in this league and to consistently win in this league, there's only one Patty Mahomes. Everybody else has to figure out a different route. And you're not going to sit up here and tell me, I said this on my show, I said this on numerous shows where I was a guest, you're not going to tell me that Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, Tyler Smith, Trayvon Diggs, DeRon Bland, you're not going to tell me that core right there, Jake Ferguson, I'll throw him in there too, you're not going to tell me that core isn't good enough to win a chip. Because I'm just not going to believe that. I'm sorry, I'm not going to believe that. But the best teams win Super Bowls. The best teams win Super Bowls. It's a team sport. And yes, you need a competent quarterback to win. No one's disputing that. But if you're roster building, your team building, your front office, and you don't have a quarterback, if you don't have the Fantastic Four, you're not getting a Lombardi. You're not. I'm sorry. You're just not. It's not happening. And man, this like the combine is right around the corner. I believe the combine for the NFL draft is within another week or two. So the combine, that's the first step. Then of course, free agency hits in March. We're about a month away from free agency, the tampering window, quote unquote. It's about it'll be here before you guys even know it, man. Like this train is not gonna go off the railroad tracks. It's here. And if you are the Dallas Cowboys, free agency is you have no choice but to use free agency this year. 30 unrestricted free agents. 30. You only have so many draft picks, bro. You can only trade back so many times, man. Like you have got to get the talent in place to start to bridge this gap. Because I said this before. If the Giants get Cam Ward or the Giants get Shedeur Sanders, they're going to start their ascension. They're going to start their ascension. And again, we've seen it. It doesn't take 50 years to turn things around. And the irony is it took the Chiefs 50 years to end their Super Bowl drought. But that's the outlier. They got the Mahomes dynasty, and their Super Bowl window is wide open as long as Mahomes is healthy with a heartbeat, with a pulse. Look at the Commanders. If you're a Cowboy fan, I'm not trying to set up doom and gloom. I just want you to be realistic. We do unfiltered, authentic conversations. We give facts. What you guys choose to do with it is up to you. Look at the Commanders. Jaden Daniels is drafted. Dan Quinn is signed. Front office is overhauled. Free agency. They had a really good draft class. This is the worst version of the Commanders that Jaden Daniels is going to play with his entire career. Every iteration of the Commanders moving forward is going to be exponentially better than what Jaden Daniels had this year. And this version made it to the NFC Championship game. So that's step one. Step two, the Eagles, the world champions, the cream of the crop. Rest in peace to Randy Savage. The cream of the crop is in your division. And Jalen Hurts is not even 30. I don't believe he's 30 years old. I think he's 29. Come on, man. And again, like I mentioned, the Giants are a quarterback and solid draft away from being playoff contenders. They are. They're going to have a bad schedule. They're going to play a lot of bad teams. I don't think Brian Daboll's a bad coach. I don't. I think Joe Schoen, I don't think Joe Schoen is a great GM. You know what I mean? But again, the Giants aren't going to be bad forever. You've got Dak Prescott he's got 4 years left on his contract. CeeDee Lamb's got 4 years left on his contract. Brian Schottenheimer just signed a 4-year extension. These next 4 years very well could be the final 4 years of the Dak era. Let's just keep it all the way G. When this 4 years is up, Dak is going to be 36. What are they going to do to maximize this window? Which brings me to my final point. Micah Parsons. The Cowboys are not trading Micah Parsons. I had to put it in the title because of, foolishness and, hot take networks and so forth and all this other crap. Micah Parsons is not being traded. Micah Parsons is going to get a long-term deal. When he gets it, is it going to be the same nonsense and the same shenanigans with him being signed a week before the opener? Probably, because that's just on brand with what the Cowboys do. But again, clear as day, Micah Parsons is not going anywhere. All right. You don't let generational talents walk in free agency, and you don't trade them away unless it's time to blow it up. And I don't believe Dallas is at the point where they're going to blow this thing up. I don't. I just don't see it. I don't. I still believe the core is in place for this team to compete for a Super Bowl. The depth pieces are not there right now. They're not. The depth pieces are not in place for this team to compete for a Super Bowl right now. Could that change in an offseason? Washington has shown you yes. Washington has shown you that you can, with the right offseason, with the right plan, with the right moves, you can get this rolling. And you're not going to tell me Washington this past year was better than the 3-12-win Dallas teams. No one in their right mind. There's not a Washington fan. There's not a Commanders fan that's going to tell you that. So with that being said, is this offseason going to play out the way it needs to? Because right now it's Philly's world and we're all living in it. But again, I just don't see Dallas right now having the horses. That can change. That can absolutely change. But that remains to be seen. Let's get some questions in there, man. I see a bunch of people watching. I can't see who's watching because you're all hidden. But let's get some questions in here. I'm going to sign off probably another 5 or 7 minutes. I'm streaming The Night Agent on Netflix right now. Bring back Jason Garrett. Never. Oh my God. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Jason clap Garrett over my dead body, bro. Like my dad would say, put me in the box before that happens. No, Jason Garrett is trash. He belongs on an NBC set near you. He should be coaching high school JV football. I said what I said. Tell me what I'm telling lies. Keep the comments coming. Keep them coming. Steak Savage. I know who that is too. You're not slick. Aha. Oh man. But nah, man. I mean, in terms of the draft though, Ashton Genty, man. Ashton Genty, he was actually at the Super Bowl. And he said he wants to be a Cowboy, man. He said he's a more athletic version of Emmitt Smith. They asked him who he was. He's like, yeah, let's go with that. Ashton Genty needs to be a Dallas Cowboy. I'm going to push the Ashton Genty narrative and train. I'm gonna push it until the trains fall off the train tracks. Oh, my boy, my boy Armand, he just hopped in. Sup? Okay. Shout out my boy Armand. Shout out my homie right there. Grew up with that guy. East Orange, Jersey in the building. EO. We might be, man. You know, your Giants, though. Y'all need a quarterback. Armand. Y'all Giants need a quarterback. Go draft a black quarterback. Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. Watch them end up getting like Jackson Dart or Quinn Ewers. Or trading for Matt Stafford. Something just tells me that they're still not going to draft a black quarterback, but I could be wrong. Jerry Jones. My White Vic. Yo, what is going on in the chat? Okay, the chat is out of control right now. The chat is out of control. Danny Dimes equals the White Vic. Like, what do we do? What are we doing right now in the chat? The chat has completely gone off the rails on a Monday. Goodness gracious. Oh, man. Tommy Cutlets. Yeah, I think he's still on the contract. I think Tommy DeVito is still on the contract with the with the Giants. Oh, man. What in the chat, let me know what was better, Linsanity or Cutlet Sanity with Tommy DeVito? What was more entertaining? To me, it was Linsanity. Linsanity was amazing. Shoot, I almost got a Jeremy Lin jersey. But Tommy Cutlets, Pizza Boy, whatever. Yeah. Linsanity was a one of one, man. Shout out to Jeremy Lin. Jeremy Lin, actually, a lot of people forget this. He was on that Toronto Raptors championship team with Kawhi Leonard. So Jeremy Lin does have a chip. He does have a championship ring, man. So shout out to Linsanity. Chat, let me know. I got a question for the chat. I need y'all to respond, man. Why haven't the Giants drafted a black quarterback in 100 years? And are they going to draft a black quarterback for the first time in 100 years? Like, I need to know. I need some answers. We need some answers, man, in these streets. The Giants need to answer for these war crimes, man. Like, why haven't the Giants drafted a black quarterback, a black man, feel like Eddie Murphy and like Raw Delirious, a black man in 100 years? And is it going to happen? I need to know. The streets need to know. The streets need to know. Keep the questions going. My boy Armand says maybe. What you mean maybe? It's either they're going to draft a black quarterback or they're not going to draft a black quarterback. Ain't no maybe. The two best quarterbacks in this draft, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, whatever order, 1A and 1B. They both black. All right. So I think Cleveland should take a quarterback, but it's not a guarantee Cleveland's going to take a quarterback. Tennessee is going to take a quarterback. The Giants are picking number 3. I believe Cam Ward's going to go number 1. I believe Abdul Carter is going to go number 2 to Cleveland. I think they're going to pass on quarterback for whatever reason. Deshaun Watson, he's getting massages and re-injuring his Achilles. But I think a black quarterback is going to be waiting for the Giants at 3. They got to take Shedeur. They got to. Cam Ward, I think Cam Ward's going to go to Tennessee. I think he's going to go to Tennessee. I really do. I love his tape. People are saying like Jamarcus Russell, and I'm just like, why? Because he's black. He's got a big arm. Like, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Even Armand, he's lighting up the chat. He said, I prefer old boy from Miami over Shedeur. Who do y'all prefer in the chat? I'm seeing a lot of Cam Ward. Love in the chat. Who do y'all prefer, Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders? Me personally, I like Cam's tape better. I think that I think in the right system, both can thrive. But I like Cam's. I think that Shedeur holds the ball too long. Yeah, I think he holds the ball too long. That's just me. I love him though. I'm rooting for him. You know what I mean? I'd love for him to go somewhere and be goated just like his dad was. I still want his dad to coach the Cowboys one day, but you know, probably got to wait another 3 to 4 years for that to happen. How many times I seen him get sacked 10 more times versus mid-college squads? Steak sandwich is on one. Steak sandwich is on one. He ain't you're not lying, bro. It's just like, yo, I don't I I feel like what Shador has going for him, he worked out with Brady. He worked out with Brady since he was like in middle school. So in terms of like reading coverages and like understanding NFL coverages and schemes and whatnot, he is actually, in my opinion, he's ahead of Cam Ward in terms of from the neck up. I feel like Cam's got a better arm. I feel like Cam is more athletic. I feel Cam is more dynamic. I think Shador is more cerebral though than I think he's more cerebral than Cam Ward. I think he's got that going for him. But I would I'd lean more toward Cam though. I think Cam has better tape, and I'm with you on that. Yeah, that's to tell me when I'm telling lies. You know, shout out to Punk, love you, dog. Should have won the Royal Rumble, but it's neither here nor there. How y'all feel about Abdul Carter? How you feel about, I call him Baby Micah, because you know if you were the 11 and you went to Penn State, you would stick city right there. So how y'all feel about Baby Micah? Where's Abdul Carter gonna go? He'll get cerebrally sacked. Listen, it's important. You gotta have that. You gotta have that as a quarterback, bro. You got it from the neck up. You gotta be built a certain type of way. Agreed. Steak sandwich is on one. Steak sandwich is cooking. He's cooking, man. He's chefing like Lil B, base guy, man. Abdul Carter's upside is just as good as Micah's. I agree, man. Like Abdul Carter, we gotta have a really long and serious conversation about him being the first defensive player off the board, obviously. And I don't think he's gonna go over Cam and Shador. I don't think he's gonna be number one overall. But don't be shocked. Chat. You heard it here. Chat. I'm trying to tell you, chat. If Abdul Carter goes number 2 to the Browns, notice you heard it here first. Tell me when I'm telling lies. You heard it on You Go Boy Media first. He's a problem. Yeah, Penn State is low-key DEU right now. We already got linebacker U on Smash. We got that trademark. But defensive end U, Micah and Abdul, come on, man. And honestly, there's a bunch of dudes that's coming out next year. Chop Robinson, yeah. Afemi, he was a first rounder with the Ravens. Abikemi, I believe he was a second rounder, I believe, with the Falcons. Listen, Gross Matos, he was a first rounder. I think he's with the 49ers now, but he was with the Panthers. Yo, Penn State, we're pumping out a lot of defensive ends, a lot of defensive linemen, and trust me, I'm telling you, Penn State. There's a reason why we were a game away from the chip last year, and I believe we're going to win it all this year. I believe we were right there with Ohio State this year. That's the national championship that we should have had. I feel like if we would have had a second try at Ohio State, I think we would have knocked them off. I really believe that because we should have beat them at Happy Valley. You know what I mean? We should have. We couldn't stop the run late, but you know that's not a here there. But yeah, the chat's on fire right now. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. I got a question for the chat. Are the Eagles repeating? Are the Eagles repeating? Are we about to see an Eagles dynasty? Are the Eagles about to run it back? Fly, Eagles, fly. Steak sandwich ain't playing, bro. Love you, dog. He says Eagles ain't repeating. Who's winning the chip next year? Who's winning the chip next year? And don't say San Francisco, because like my brother wants to he wants to ascend into the heavens here and that nonsense. I don't think they got it next year. Manchester United. Okay, steak sandwich. I'm about to mute you. He's about to get muted. Too funny. The chat is on fire. Oh. But let's get a couple more questions. Throw me a question real quick. Throw me a question. Steak sandwich. You're lighting the chat on fire. Throw me a couple questions, and then I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Get back to Netflix and enjoy my day off from the Wizards. Get ready to lead a country. It's birthday week for me, baby. So I'm about to be living La Vida Loca in Puerto Plata in a couple of days. Yahtzee. Let me get a quick question, and then we get out of here. Will the Giants embrace DEI at quarterback? Savage. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't trust them. I don't trust their front office, man. I got 100 years of evidence to suggest that the Giants are going to draft Jackson Dart or Quinn Ewers or trade for Matt Stafford or Derek Carr or somebody, man. I don't know what it is, why they don't want to embrace it. A black quarterback, I don't know. Yeah, Quinn Ewers is EU, exactly. I mean, I thought the Cowboys were the same way. You know, I thought Quincy Carter was the only black quarterback I was going to see or I think we had Randall Cunningham and Tony Banks and Anthony Wright. We had a lot of trash quarterbacks after Troy Aikman retired. So I was shocked when we took Dak Prescott. I ain't gonna lie to you. I did not expect in a million years Dak Prescott would be my quarterback going on a decade now. It's still shocking, to be honest with you, and that's part of the reason why he gets hated so much. Not just because he wears a star, but because he's Afro-American. You know what I mean? Arch Manning's not coming out for 2 years, bro. Like, you gotta let that go. Like, Arch Manning he's making like $50 million a year in Texas, and plus his family's not gonna let him come out in 2 years. So like let everybody with the tank for Arch, unless you talk about tanking 2 years from now, it's not gonna happen. Sus just hopped in. Yo, Sus, throw me some questions, bro. Miss you, baby. Let's see. Yeah, Arch Manning is good. Arch Manning's good, bro. It's just I don't know what the plan is for the Giants, man. I don't. Like, supposedly they love Shador. Allegedly, they love Shador. So we'll see if he's going to be there at 3, and we'll see if they draft a black quarterback. I'm just saying that I've got to see it to believe it. That's just me. You know what I mean? But Sus, throw me some questions, Sus. Like, you hopped in here. I need questions. I got the answers. I need the questions. Okay, let's talk about the halftime show. We can talk about the halftime show. I was watching it with my brother and my dad. We were laughing our asses off because it was hilarious. Like, say Drake. I heard you like him. First and foremost, I love Drake and I love Kendrick Lamar. I've seen both of the brothers perform in concert. I saw both of them perform before they were super mega stars at Penn State. I've seen Kendrick twice, actually. I saw him at a Prudential Center here in Newark. And obviously I saw him in State College at the Bryce Jordan Center. I saw Drake at the Bryce Jordan Center. I saw Drake when he was promoting So Far Gone, before he even dropped his debut album, Thank Me Later. So what I'm saying is, this whole beef thing's just been entertainment. I've kept it at that. I don't really do the whole tribalism thing. Like, Kendrick's trying to destroy Drake's career. Let's get this guy up out of here. 95% of like Kendrick fans that cape hard for him, they listen to Drake. Let me amend that. 99.9% of Kendrick fans listen to some version of Drake. So let's just get that out the way right then and there. On the other side, the Drake fans that want to say that, you know, Kendrick is this peon, is nothing compared to the boy. I'm not with that either. They're both GOATs. They're both amazing. I love both of them. You asked me what I bump in my whip the most. I bump Euphoria. I mentioned this on my show, rest in peace to Sid, when I did the Drake Kendrick beef recap show, whatever, a couple months back. I listened to Euphoria and Family Matters. Pretty much those are only 2 songs from the whole discography that I listen to. I don't really listen to Don't Like Us, Not Like Us. It's an okay song. It's catchy, but it's like, it's all right. It's all right. You know what I mean? But the halftime show was really it was well put together. Great imagery. SZA's bad. Shout out to Jersey. She's a Jersey native too. But it's just that. You know what I mean? It was super petty for my man to look in the camera and say Drake. That was petty as hell. That was petty. He's been on demon time this whole time. But yeah, the artistry, yeah, steak sandwich on point. The artistry was lit. It was a very, from just an image standpoint, it was a very well crafted halftime show. The imagery was dope with the American flag, the dancers, the car, the light pole. I mean, you got Serena Williams crip walking, which is ironic, completely ironic, because she was on World Star a couple years ago, twerking inside Drake's apartment in LA, but we're not going to talk about that. You know what I mean? SZA's there, another Drake ex. I just found it funny that two chicks that Drake used to mess with were at the halftime show, but that's neither here or there. That's neither here or there. I'm just here. I'm just saying. That's true. That's true too. That's true. Yeah. Yes. Unfortunately, her half sister, I believe, was gunned down accidentally by a Crip, a couple years ago. But it was so that was kind of full circle. But her being there and her relation to Drake, you can't overlook that. But it was a good show. It was a good show. Was it the best halftime show? No. Like, I wouldn't even put it in my top 5, honestly. Like, my favorite, I'm biased. Like, my favorite one is still going to be, of all time, the Michael Jackson halftime show. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, like the halftime show with Michael Jackson was the only halftime show in the history of halftime shows that was viewed more than a football game. And mind you, that was during the Cowboy dynasty. Come on, man. I wouldn't even put this halftime show. I wouldn't put it past Beyonce's. I wouldn't put it past Prince's. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Like, this was a good. I like the Weeknd's halftime show better than this one. I like the West Coast one at SoFi a couple years ago. I like that one better. Like, this was a solid halftime show. Kendrick did his thing, but I'm just from just a pure spectacle. He didn't really bring nobody out like that. Like, it wasn't the bells and whistles. It was just aight. It was aight. It was aight. It was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad halftime show. It was aight. Like, it's gonna be remembered as him dissing Drake. That's what it's going to be remembered as. Just like the Grammys is going to be remembered. It should be remembered as for Beyonce finally winning Album of the Year, but it's going to be remembered for Not Like Us. Like, Drake was more talked about during the halftime show than the halftime show. How about y'all? Y'all let that sit in for a minute, all right? And again, this is a Kendrick and a Drake fan. I'm a fan of both of these cats. I'm not OVO, you go boy. I'm not Top Dog, you go boy. This is facts. Usher, exactly. Usher's halftime show. Was light years last year. Light years ahead of this one. Like, come on, man. Like, Kendrick did his thing. I love the brother. I'm excited for the new album that's going to drop. I'm going to try to go see him in May because him and SZA are coming up to they're coming to Jersey. I'm going to try to go see him that'll be the third time I'll get to see him. Hopefully with my schedule, I'll be able to. But it was okay. It was okay. I want Drake to do the Super Bowl halftime one day, but they're trying to blackball my man's. they're not going to succeed. You know what I mean? He could go freaking. He's on tour in one. He's shutting down the continent of Australia right now. Like, let that sink in for everybody that says Drake is finished and he's poor guy. He's literally shutting down a continent right now. He's doing a continent tour. Come on, bro. What are you talking about? Yeah. Shout out to Steak Sandwich. True, but A minor having the entire stadium screaming A minor was crazy. The entire Grammy screaming out A minor was crazy. This fool Kendrick has A minor. My brother peeped it on his chain. We were just looking at his chain. I was just like, is that Atlanta or something like that? Like, no, he has an A minor, iced out A minor chain. He got flags with A minor on it too. Oh, bro. Oh, man. And cats wonder why he's suing, but that's neither here nor there. Nah, so in the chat, for those who can't see it, a lot of people thought that Weezy was gonna pop out pop out and show niggas. He was gonna pop out during the Super Bowl halftime show, but Weezy announced like months ago that he's not even going to the Super Bowl. That he really wanted to. He wanted that spot. You know, he wanted to be the halftime performer, and you know, the NFL decided not to. You know, he had a Super Bowl commercial. He announced the Carter 6 is about to drop, and I'm happy about that. You know what I mean? But nah, no Weezy F baby. He's getting ready for an album and probably a tour. He just did WrestleMania. I want to say last year Weezy did WrestleMania. So Weezy's still doing his thing, man. You know, that's not the end of the world. Okay, Sus is asking me, would you sue over pedo? I can't pronounce it. I don't want the chat to get taken out. Pedo allegations on a diss track. See, I wouldn't sue. I understand why Drake is taking litigation, you know, and it's not necessarily just because of the track. I think it's because of the character assassination and the fact that those are serious allegations that he could possibly lose money off of. I think it's more of a reputation thing. Everybody says it's like a Karen thing. Like, oh, he's a Karen. How could he? It's a Karen. He's like, yo, like, it's one thing to call somebody say that you put hands on your spouse, which he did accuse Kendrick of doing, a significant other rather, because he's not married. And it's another to be like, yo, you're doing stuff with the youth. I mean, you know what I mean? So me personally, I wouldn't sue because I would just take I'd just ignore. I take the ignoring route. I'm just like, listen, next question. All right, what are we on? Next question. I would only sue if I'm getting the pressure. If I feel like my team's putting pressure on me, people in my circle are putting pressure on me, sponsors are putting pressure on me, then I got to fight for my life. Like Robert Kelly, I got to fight for my life. You know, that's the route I would take. But I don't know. It's weird. It's weird, man. He's about to drop an album, man. That's all that I just know him and Party Next Door. They about to drop on Valentine's Day. Kendrick's about to drop another album. Drake said he's gonna drop this year a solo album. So all this stuff is gonna come to light. You know, Diddy's gonna be on trial at some point. You know what I mean? So yeah, keep the questions coming though. Keep them coming. Sus, keep them coming, bro. Missed you the other night, man. You know, we was outside. We missed you. Keep the questions coming. I'm gonna stay on here for a couple more minutes. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that hopped in the chat too, man. And shout out to everybody that's been watching. You know, we going on about an hour now, coming up on 50 minutes now. And you guys have been great. You know, we're just chopping it up about, you know, the Super Bowl. NFL offseason is about to kick off. Micah Parsons is not being traded. The Eagles are your world champions. Super Bowl halftime show. We chopping it up about that. We just chopping it up, man. I promised y'all. I told y'all I was gonna go on. I was gonna go live more this year. I'm a man of my word. Okay. Let me get one more question though, Sus. Don't give me one more question, Sus, before you leave. We about to hop off too, man. Need another question. Shout out to Steak Sandwich, man. Steak Sandwich has been lighting this chat up since the beginning. Shout out to Armand too. He rolled through the chat. Yeah, man. Just Eagles, man. Golly, I know. Next time I'm in Philly, bro, I usually wear cowboy gear. I don't even think I can do it this time. I think they got it now. Y'all got the juice now. If you could say, okay, we got two questions. Let's do the first one and then we'll do the second one. The first question is from Sus. If you could switch lives for a day with any Cowboys player, who would you pick? Wow, man, probably Micah. Probably Micah, because Micah probably lives like the closest life to. Micah is in the sports entertainment world, and he likes to travel and he likes to be outside, and he's a man of the people. So I feel like our personalities are in sync probably the most, and he's a Penn State legend. So I'm not a Penn State legend yet. I will be one day, God willing. It would either be Micah or CD. You know, I used to have dreadlocks, so I used to have my CD Lamb going a couple years back myself. And you know, CD got the swag, got the fashion. I know he got the chicks, man. That goes without saying. Got the cars, got the jewelry, got the drip. Yeah, I mean, CD has the most swag. So and Micah has like the regular lifestyle stuff that I do. So either CD or Micah for sure. All right, well, the next question. I'm gonna get to you, Armand. I got you. The next question: how you feel about Luka? I feel like, well, Anthony Davis is out indefinitely with a groin injury. My bad. Anthony street clothes. Street clothes is hurt again. Shocker. Street clothes is hurt. Like, everyone knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna happen. Tell me why I'm telling lies. Like, Anthony Davis gets injured. That's what he does. Street clothes is gonna be in street clothes. All right. Like he should have his jersey and his street clothes like right next to each other in the locker room. You know what I mean? Like every when he's not playing, when they sub him out, he shouldn't just sub out into like warm-up gear. He should just sub out in the street clothes. And then when he's ready to play, then put his like jersey underneath the street clothes. Because he's gonna be hurt. He's gonna be hurt. Like this is just what it is. Mans is gonna get injured. All right. He's out indefinitely. This was the first game. And already my man's hurt. So, I mean, we'll see what Dallas gets out of him. They say this is a win now move. Well, he's hurt now. So that's how I feel about street clothes. Luka's a bucket, man. Like Luka is gonna average like 40 points every time he plays Dallas, bro. Like, does this make the Lakers championship contenders? No. The Lakers are not championship contenders right now whatsoever. They still need to build more pieces. I said this in episode 61 with Mongo that dropped last week. This move with Luka is more about the next 3 to 5 years. Like, we're not going to be able to really judge the Luka trade and its return for the Lakers until the Lakers fill out the rest of their roster and we find out what the hell Bronny is. Like, I don't know how much longer LeBron's going to play. LeBron's not going to play into his 50s like Bill Russell, man. That shit's not going to happen. All right. So is Bronny going to develop into a competent NBA player? And was this now a gift that Bron and the front office is leaving behind for Bronny? Like, listen, Bronny, your dad's. If I'm LeBron, I'm like, yo, look, listen, son. You know, Bryce is coming to the league too. Maybe I could finesse him to come and play with you. But I'm gonna be on the sideline with your mom and your sister. You know what I mean? We're gonna be rooting you on from the sideline. We gave you Luka. Make it work. You know what I mean? Continue the legacy. Get James Gang. Keep that shit going. You know what I mean? So. I don't know. I know Luka is still one of the best 5. He's still one of the top 5 players in basketball. He's still one of the top 5 scorers in basketball. He's still a walking bucket. When he's on, he's unstoppable. And I believe the Lakers in a long run, they're going to get more out of this trade. I don't know if either of these teams are going to get a championship out of this trade, to be honest with you, but I know the Lakers are going to get more bang for their buck because Luka's going to play more games. Anthony Davis is going to miss more games with injury. That's facts. And tell me why I'm telling lies. He's hurt right now. Street clothes. So the Lakers won this trade. Hands down. The Lakers won this trade. Let's get another one. Yep, Young Legend streaming on all digital platforms. Go stream now. Video out too. Shot that one in DR. Yeah, in Puerto Plata, where I will be in a couple days. Shout out to G-Ray, like it all. Should Chiefs take the blame for the loss last night? Armand, the Eagles are better. The Eagles are better, man. The Eagles did not blitz all night. Like the Chiefs front offensive line could not block 4 down linemen. They couldn't block Philadelphia. Like, Patrick Mahomes had no chance. He had no chance. There's no shame when you get whooped by a better team. When you get beat by a better team, that's all you can do. Bro. Just tip your hat off. Like, They were going for a three-peat, something historic that had never been done before. They had a great run. They're going to be Super Bowl contenders next year because I expect for Patty Mahomes and that front office, I expect for them to be active and trying to get more pieces to get back. But just call a spade, bro. Like they don't. Their offensive line is not good enough. Their weapons aren't good enough either. Xavier Worthy is nice. Hollywood Brown, he's going to be a free agent. Hopkins, this was like 5 years ago. Getting that Hopkins would have made a difference. Kelsey's still solid, but his best years are behind him. Like the Chiefs need work. They got to reload the clip. It's just that simple, but they still got the best player in the world. So as long as Patrick Mahomes is healthy, the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl conversation. But right now, their roster is not better than Philadelphia's, and that's why Philadelphia won. If this was a close game, I still believe it. If this was a close game that would have came down, last man standing, who had the ball, Chiefs would have won the game. I'll stand on that. I'll stand 10 toes on that. Like if the Chiefs needed a game-winning drive to win the ball game, even with that offensive line being shaky, Patty and Andy Reid, they'd have figured something out, and they'd have gotten the field goal or whatever necessary to win the game. But the Eagles didn't even allow it to get to that point. They came out with a great game plan, and they just took it to him. They took it to him. And Saquon Barkley wasn't even a factor. Like he didn't really even have an impact in this game. Saquon could have been inactive, and the Eagles still would have blown out the Chiefs last night. That's how lopsided it was. Like the Eagles' best player on offense wasn't really a factor, and they still won by 3 scores. Like let that sink in, bro. Like this was a mismatch. This was a mismatch, like from top to bottom. Like the Eagles just have the best all around roster in football, and that showed. Shout out to Howie Roseman, man. Like I wish Dallas could do that one day. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's get another question, man. I want to get to 1 hour even, man. I want to get to 1 hour even. Throw me another question. Steak sandwich. I know you're still there, dog. I know you're still there. Staking it up. Throw me a couple more questions. Throw me 1 or 2 more questions, and we'll get up out of here. We'll wrap this up, man. This has been a great chat. It's been a great chat, man. Shout out to Armand, dog. Love you. He a Giant fan. He's suffering right now. They in rebuild Mambo number 5. Come on, let's get one more. Let's get one more question. Let's get up out of here, chat. Yeah, chat's been on fire this game, this episode, man. I like it. I like it when y'all like this. Y'all chose violence. Who's taking an NBA ship though? I thought it was my Rockets. I thought it was them. They looking shaky right now. I know they just beat the Raptors, but man, Rockets looking awful lately, bro. Sheesh. I don't know. I mean, I don't think the Celtics are going to repeat. If I had to pick right now, OKC is the best all-around team in basketball right now. OKC. Yeah. I think SGA is playing on another level. He's ascended as one of the elite all-around players in basketball right now. I don't trust Cleveland. Spider Mitchell is nice, but like, is he like that? Like elite like that? I don't know. I've never viewed him as that type of player. I've always viewed him as one of the better players, as an all-star player, as a really, really, really good player. I've never viewed Spider Mitchell as a great player. I just haven't. You know what I mean? And to win a championship, you got to take that step. Jaylen Brown and Tatum, they took that step, and that's why the Celtics won the chip last year. I don't know if Spider Mitchell is ready to take that next step, and I don't know if the Cavalier roster is built like that to win all those rounds to win a championship. So, but give me OKC right now. Give me OKC. I think the Thunder might win the chip this year. I would love for the Rockets to get their act together because it's been too long. But I said the Rockets were going to be in the playoffs in 2 years with Udoka. I said that. I said that. Everybody said that I didn't know what the hell I was talking about tell me when I'm telling lies. Look at them. They top 3 in the West right now. So, Jalen Green, he's here, man. Amen Thomas, we here. Rockets is here, baby. We here. All right, what's up? Oh, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, I'm getting a text now from Brian McFadden from All Things Covered. Love you, Mac. Probably got to record tonight. Because there's no days off. You already know it. But before I get up off, I'll probably go live when I get back from DR. We got new episodes of the You Go Boy podcast. We got episode 62 is on the way. Episode 62 is on the way. I don't know if it's going to be virtual yet. I don't know if I'm going to be in studio with Mongo. I don't know yet, but 62 is on the way. And like I said, I will go live. I'm going to try to go live again next week. When I get back from vacation, your boy's turning 37, head down to Puerto Plata, with the beautiful music and the beautiful weather and the beautiful food and the beautiful beaches and the beautiful women. It's going to be a movie. Man. But when I get back, we'll hop back on the chat. But you guys tuned in with your boy. Love you guys. Thanks for everybody that hopped in the chat. Steak Sandwich, I love you, dog. Mondo, Armand, love you. Sus, love you. Everybody that hopped in the chat. Everybody that tuned in. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champions. The NFL offseason has just kicked off. The draft is on the way. We got brand new episodes of the You Go Boy podcast on the way. We have daily content on all the social media channels, daily shorts, reels coming at you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Love you guys. And as always, you know the vibes. Unfiltered, authentic conversations. Yahtzee means no worries, baby. Love you guys. Peace.